Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. Welcome back to the channel. And for anybody new joining the channel, I appreciate you guys just stopping by. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. So today we're actually going to swap out the oil control valve that's on the M8 Softails. I've been reading over the last couple weeks, and apparently the factory oil control valve from Harley has a tendency to fatigue over time. And what this causes is, if it does fatigue and it does fail, it could cause potentially significant damage to the oil circulation system. Basically, there's a small check valve inside the control valve that could potentially crack and basically disperse any metal fragments within the oil system, causing, potentially catastrophic damage. I haven't heard of anything happening like this from anybody I've spoken with, but doing a little research online, there are cases out there that the culprit was a control valve. So I'm kind of taking it upon myself as a proactive measure to swap it out, both on my FXBB and also my my new bike, my new FXLR. This is actually the one from S&S that they make. It's made out of a 66-1 aluminum billet, so it's definitely a nice piece. Let me show you here. This is kind of what the packaging looks like. So it's a control valve, has a check valve on the bottom of it, upgraded spring, pretty solid looking unit. Then we have a hose clamp on there. And this is the part number. I'll put it actually out in the description as well. Actually, I think it's this one here. That's the part number. I'll put it in the description as mentioned, so you guys can take a look at it. But yeah, so we'll be swapping it out on both bikes just as a precautionary measure. Obviously I'm a stickler just to make sure nothing happens, especially in these motors. And once you start putting in different components like a cam, oil pump, etc., if you're doing that, you might as well do this. This is a cheap measure. I think they're $50 each, so not too bad in price. And I picked this one up on Fuel Moto, along with a couple other items I bought for the bike. But yeah, low cost kind of insurance measure, just to make sure that you got all the systems running correctly. So we're going to swap this out. It's pretty straightforward process. S&S does include so the control valve sits right in front of the timing cover. There's a electronic sensor that will unplug, remove that to give a little bit quicker and easier access to the control valve. Get that swapped out and be on our way. Just wanted to make this quick video just to make sure if you guys are thinking about it, you know how to do it. It's pretty straightforward. It shouldn't take more than, I would say, 15-20 minutes. But just a good precautionary measure if you guys are looking to do something like this on your bike. So first and foremost, I just wanted to point out I'm in no way affiliated with S&S Cycles. They did not provide any of the parts. I did choose them just because, based off reputation, they're a leader in the industry. I just want to make sure I go with the best product possible, and in this particular case, going with their oil control valve assembly. I have used their parts in the past on my other build, the cam chest plate, along with a couple other components. They make top quality components for our bikes. So if you guys are looking for a control valve, I'm not sure if there are other companies out there, I probably, that are making them, but yeah, take a look at S&S. Like I said, for the price and the mindset and ease of it, it's definitely a product we want to look at. So first and foremost would be disconnecting the pressure switch, which is located right here behind the exhaust header. So it might be hard to see, but if you look behind that, you can see the oil control valve back there tucked in. So the reason they want you to take the oil pressure switch off first is to get you easy access on that. So it calls for a 7/8 wrench open socket on that. I think both of them are that. I haven't checked. The 7/8 is actually for the pressure switch, and I believe the oil control valve, yeah, it is the same, just reading the instructions. So want to make sure we remove that first, the oil control valve, and then we'll get access to the pressure switch. There is a hose clamp that we're going to need to pull off as well on the old unit. So we'll just make sure we want to take that out first. That way we can make sure we got a steer connection in there. But yeah, pretty straightforward process. So we'll get into it here in a second. So I unfortunately doesn't look like I have a 7/8 wrench in my set of tools, and I don't have a 23 milliliter open wrench as well. That would probably be the closest to a 7/8. The 24 is a little bit big, so I'm going to use the old crescent wrench tool here and see if we can get this removed. So first we're going to take and remove the electrical check valve. So we're going to just disconnect that from the oil control valve. I don't think it's necessary to disconnect the battery in this particular case because we are unplugging the sensor from the connector, so that should be okay. So let's just remove this guy here, and I'm not sure if any oil is going to come out. I don't think it should, hopefully not. Yeah, just a little bit came out, so not anything to worry about. And then it looks like we have O2 sensor running down here from when they did the install. So I'm actually gonna pop this off real quick just to make it a little easier for myself. And I'm gonna reroute that once I get the new exhaust on here because I don't like the way they did the bend in that line, honestly. All right, so the next step I would gather would be to remove the hose clamp, and in this particular case, let me just see what the instructions call for. So it just states remove hose clamp, remove hose from valve, use 7/8 wrench or open socket to remove check valve. So I'm thinking we're going to cut this off. And this is an ear clamp, so it's pinched together. So I'm just going to probably just cut it off and make it easier, because if we don't cut it off, then we're going to be twisting that hose once we try to take that check valve off. So let me see what I can do to cut this off. All right, so I have to break out the big boys. I'll just cut this clamp off. And then once we have that clamp off, we're going to pop the hose off and then pull the old control valve off. Just make sure that you don't penetrate the hose at all, because that won't be good. I don't have a replacement, but I think we should be okay. All right. This is a clamp. And then we're going to pull that hose off. I'll probably just pull it off with some needle nose pliers just to make sure and be careful I don't damage that hose at all. But and usually sometimes from the heat, cycles, the hose gets stuck on here. So if you see in this video, just kind of wiggle it around. That way you'll have some leverage to take it off, and that just slips right back there. And I'm gonna make sure that this doesn't point down at all. Maybe tuck it behind the front case. Yep, that way there's no oil leaking out of it. So just tuck it in maybe behind the front oil cooler here, and don't necessarily let the hose hang, because then you're going to get oil everywhere. And now we have access to the control valve. And let's see here. The only thing I don't like about these crescent wrenches, right, is that sometimes they slide around. So hopefully I don't damage the thread at all. Or damage the pipe, scratch it up, but let's see. I think I might have, let me see. I think I might have a 23 actually. Don't. If it'll go around. Yeah, 24 looks too big. Yeah. Actually, it does actually look like a 24 fits on there, huh? Okay, so 7/8 looks like a 24. So, and you're using both open wrenches for this, so let me see if this will fit. Maybe it's just the angle that's not going on. So I already got the clamp installed on the hose. These are the crimp pliers that you'll need. Pretty straightforward. So we'll just go in here and crimp this. That's pretty much it. To make sure that the clamp is behind the nipple there. And then we got our sensor here that we'll install. It calls for 13 foot-pounds, but I'll probably just do it by hand because my socket's gonna fit around there. Just grab something real quick. Alright, so we're good on the torque. Make sure all this is all buttoned up here too. I disconnected the O2 sensor wire, so I want to make sure I plug that in. We should be good to go after this. Again, pretty straightforward install. There's not much to it. And then your sensor wires here. That's clicked up, and that's it. Quick and easy, probably start to finish, I would say, 15 minutes, minus I was struggling for a couple tools that I thought I didn't have. 24 millimeter on the sensor, and then a 7/8 on the check valve. If you have those, a socket, both extended sockets that I use fit in there, so there's no issue here with any room clearance or anything. I could get my ratchet wrench in here and also my torque wrench to button those up, so I don't think there's an issue. Or you can use an open-ended wrench on both of these. I think a socket might be better just from a ease of installment issue. Just make sure you got the appropriate length. I just used a deep socket on both of them, 24 deep socket, and then you should be good. Yeah, other than that, guys, let me know what you guys think on this. Again, appreciate you guys feedback. I want to hear if anybody else has installed the check valve. Obviously, there's some noise going around with some of these, either failing or having debris cause some serious component issues with metal fragments getting into the oil system, and that's not ideal scenario. Both of my check valves on my bikes, on my FXBB and my Lowrider ST, look good, the OEMs. Again, I just kind of did this as a preventative measure and peace of mind, knowing that there's an upgraded check valve in there, that it covers all the bases, and most importantly, making sure that there's no failure issues down the road with this. So appreciate you guys subscribing and liking the video. Again, let me know what you guys think, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.